Hey everyone, I'm Michael Philpott. I'm an expert in the art of public speaking, pitching and presenting. So I help people to craft content that's focused on building liking, trust and respect so that they can say the right words in the right way at the right time and win the hearts, minds and wallets of any audience on any stage. Safety for me means proficiency, being proficient in what you are trying to teach people, and then breaking it down into its most basic instructional form. For 17 years I was an outdoor adventure guide, keeping people alive. We used the outdoors to figure out how they could overcome fear in one area of their life and how they could apply what they learned in the other area of their life. We used to do harness safety briefings. A harness, when you give it to someone who's never worn one, looks like a jigsaw puzzle. Now your job is to make a whole bunch of people put it on quickly and effectively. You'll do the final safety check on it, but you want to be able to give those instructions in a way that they can all do it at the same time and no one feels like an idiot. So you've got that breakdown in skill, like skill-based breakdown. You have to bring it down to its most simplistic, you know, like you have to be able to teach it to a 5-year-old. I first worked with Matt when he was delivering presentations. And we sat down and he asked me to do coaching work with him around how to present to a group of people. More so for workshop presentations. So we're talking about a half day or a full day of training. I just sat down and I drew a map of the room and I said, tell me where all the people sit in the room. Where are all the HR people? He was like, oh, they all sit together over here. I'm like, where do other people sit? He was like, well, the other people sit here and then you've got other people sit here. And I'm like, so you've got right next to where you stand, the powerhouses that make decisions and scare people. He was like, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, dude, mix them up. Get them up out of the seats, make them find a new seat sitting next to someone they've never spoken to before. Break down your power dynamics in the room. Otherwise, you're not even running the room. So we worked on a lot of his facilitation and training back in the day, which then led to him being able to run probably some of the best training and development workshop training in New Zealand because he just invested money into it and time into it. My dad used to work in health and safety specifically, right? So he gets this role, right? He's getting paid heaps of money. And I'm talking to him because I'm a facilitator trainer, he's running training, health and safety training. And I said to him one day, I was like, have you thought about investing some money into your skills, developing your skills as a trainer? And he's like, I could do. I was like, how much does it cost? A couple $100, $200-300? I'm like, it might cost you $2.5 grand. And he's like, oh, no. If it was $200-300, I'd be all right with it. A couple of months later, he ends up getting made redundant. I was like, what happened? He said, well, I used to run training, right? And how I kept people focused was that if they started to be disruptive in my room, I would fire a question at them that I knew they couldn't answer. And they would just freak out and shut down in front of the whole group. He said, no one ever was disruptive or switched out during my workshops. I said to him, is that because you just evoked fear of public humiliation in front of everyone else? And he was like, yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about it like that. Fear of public humiliation is not how you win friends and it's not how you teach people stuff. I said, who got the replacement for your job? And he was like, some dude, the trainer, and he's like, speaks with his hands and stuff and he's all friendly. I was like, so maybe that training that I was talking to you about should have gone on because you would have learned how to do that type of stuff. How to understand more about accelerated adult brain-based learning and how to be more empathetic towards the people that you're working with. So the skill I would say would be put your feet in someone else's shoes around this stuff. If you find yourself pushing, chances are there's a problem that you can deal with for yourself within you. It's not a them problem, it's probably a you thing that you need to reflect on. What part of how you're communicating is causing problems for them? What's making it harder? From a safety perspective, we had to do stuff that was quite unique that you don't think of. We would walk all of our tracks and we would make it foolproof. And then we would walk it again and make it foolproof to people who have never walked off pavement in their life. Because there are people in the world who have never walked off pavement. It's the same as there are people in the world who have never seen the ocean. And we forget this when we live in New Zealand, because we're a small island, that if you're in the central state of the US, You may never have seen a beach in your life. You may never have climbed a mountain. You might not have done what we take for granted in New Zealand that we do. So for us as guides, we grew up in this. We had to bring what we thought our experience level or what our customers' experience level was. We needed to bring it way down, and then we had to bring it down even more, because even then we still didn't know. I'll give you an example. From an empathetic concept, we had a former ski patroller from one of the big mountains. He said, you guys are fit, because this is what you do normally. He grabbed a bunch of straws, 5 straws, and he put tape around them, and he then cut them into small little sections. And he said, put this in your mouth, now walk up the mountain that you're gonna walk your students up. And we're laughing away, put it in our mouth, and we're like, and you start to notice this drag on your breathing. And we walked, and where the first person in the line went, okay, I'm done. He said, that's where your level of fitness stopped, with restricted breathing. Now go back to the last person in your group, and from there go 100 meters back. That's where their person will start getting tired. That's where you need your break. Our natural understanding and experience of our environment was so high that we had to have that real empathy building experience to understand what it is to be them. To me, that was probably the biggest lesson in my life. When we look at things that we do, whether it's when we're speaking, whether it's when we're presenting, whether it's when we're getting people to learn stuff, our level of what we know is so much higher than what other people is, and we have to have a higher level of empathy and understanding for how we can deliver it to their level so they don't freak out. Because if they freak out, we then see them as the people that have the problem learning, or the other people who are causing me grief and they're causing me stress and they're upsetting all of the other people. It's like, no, they're doing it because you didn't think enough of how to empathize for their experience. I think that's the kind of key. Any of the stuff you're going to teach or do, experience it yourself. It gives you a level of understanding that's like, this is actually hard. This is a lot to take in. It's not a sink or swim, or you're made for this or you're not made for it. Everyone learns at a different pace, and we need to accommodate for that. The way we learn stuff is how we learnt it. The way someone else learns the same thing might be different, might be slower, might be faster. And we need to accommodate for all that.